Once upon a time, in a lovely village named Uro, there was a woman named Kachi. Kachi was very special. She made the most beautiful clothes in the whole village. Everyone loved Kachi's clothes. They were colorful, like rainbows after rain. Kachi was also very kind. She always had a big smile for everyone, just like the sun shining bright in the sky. Kachi had three daughters. They were as pretty as the clothes Kachi made. Kachi loved her daughters more than anything in the world. She always made sure they had the prettiest dresses to wear. People in Uro said Kachi had a golden heart. She shared her smiles and kind words like they were treasures. Sometimes, Kachi also gave away some of her beautiful clothes to people who didn't have nice things to wear. Kachi is the heart of Uro, people would say when they saw how happy she made everyone. Kachi's house was always full of laughter and the sound of her loom. A loom is a big tool that helps in weaving clothes. It goes click-clack, click-clack as Kachi worked on it. Her daughters would play around trying to help, making the house even more joyful. Everyone in the village loved to visit Kachi. They would bring her gifts of fruit and flowers because they appreciated her. Kachi's kindness made the village a happier place. Even the birds and the trees seemed to dance when Kachi and her daughters walked by. The whole village was like a big family, with Kachi and her big, kind heart making sure everyone was smiling and dressed in beautiful clothes. And so, Kachi lived her days weaving, loving, and spreading joy in Uro, the village that loved her just as much. It was a place where kindness shone bright, all thanks to Kachi, the beloved weaver with the heart of gold. In the village of Uro, something new was about to happen in Kachi's life. One day, while she was busy weaving, Kachi felt a sudden pain. "Oh!" she exclaimed, a bit scared. People nearby ran to help her, and they quickly took her to see the wise healer of the village. The healer, with gentle hands and a kind voice, told Kachi, "You're going to have another baby." Kachi's heart filled with joy. She couldn't wait to tell her husband, Mazi, and her three beautiful daughters about the new little one they would soon meet. Months went by, and Kachi's stomach grew bigger and bigger. It was not easy with the pregnancy, but the villagers were always there for her. Then came the day she was about to give birth. Kachi was in pain for 3 whole days, but then there she was, a little baby. This baby was different. Her skin was as pale as the moonlight, and her hair shone like spun gold. Kachi's heart was a mix of rain and sunshine. She had a beautiful little girl, but the baby was an albino. And in the village, the people's belief was that albinos brought bad luck, like a cloud covering the sun. Kachi, with tears and hope, named her baby Tina, my little gift from the gods. But not everyone saw Tina as a gift. When Mazi, Kachi's husband, saw his new daughter, he was filled with fear instead of joy. "This is bad luck," he said with a frown. "She cannot stay with us." Kachi's heart broke into a million pieces. How could her little Tina, so small and precious, be bad luck? Despite Mazi's words, Kachi couldn't let her daughter go. "She's our child, our little gift," Kachi pleaded. Mazi finally agreed to let Tina stay, but he said, "On one condition, I don't want to see her." This made Kachi very sad, but she hugged Tina tighter, promising to always protect her. Kachi's daughters didn't know what to make of their new sister. They had heard their father and saw how the villagers whispered. They kept their distance, making Tina feel very lonely. Kachi tried her best to keep her family happy. She worked harder than ever, weaving beautiful clothes, trying to spread joy and kindness even when her own heart was heavy. Mazi, on the other hand, grew more and more distant. He blamed every single of their problems on little Tina, saying she brought bad luck to their home. The once happy house began to feel sad. Kachi lost many friends and customers. People in the village started avoiding her, all because of the whispers and fears about Tina's pale skin. But Kachi never stopped loving Tina. She knew her daughter was special, not bad luck. "We will show them, my little moonbeam," Kachi would say to Tina. "We will show them all how wonderful you are." And so, amidst the whispers and the loneliness, Kachi's love for Tina shone as bright as the moon. She hoped that one day everyone would see Tina as she did, not as a sign of bad luck, but as a precious gift to be cherished. In Uro, the village where everyone used to smile and wave, things were changing for Kachi's family. Even with the sun shining and the birds singing, there were shadows in Kachi's home because of little Tina's arrival. Kachi, with her heart as big as ever, tried so hard to keep everyone happy. She wove her beautiful clothes faster, hoping the bright colors and soft textures would remind the village of the joy they once shared. But it was tough, very tough. Mazi, Kachi's husband, found it harder to smile. Every time he looked at Tina, he only saw bad luck. When his crops didn't grow as much, or when the rain was too little, he said, "It's because of her." He pointed at Tina, making Kachi's heart sink. Now older, Kachi's daughters felt stuck in the middle. They loved their mother so much and wanted to make her happy. But they also heard the whispers. "Tina is different," the villagers would say, their eyes wide with worry. So they stayed away from Tina, leaving her to play by herself. It wasn't just at home where things were hard. When Kachi went to the market with her clothes, the same clothes that everyone once loved, people looked the other way. "We don't want bad luck," they whispered, thinking Tina's pale skin was a sign of something scary. Kachi's heart was heavy. She used to be the heart of Oro, welcomed everywhere with open arms. Now, because of these whispers and fears, she felt alone. Even so, she kept weaving and loving, especially loving little Tina. To make ends meet, Kachi started doing small jobs here and there. She cleaned houses, fetched water, and did anything she could to help her family eat. The jobs were hard and they paid very little. It was not like before, when her beautiful clothes would sell for good money. Through all this, Kachi's love for Tina never faded. "My little moonbeam," she would call Tina, holding her close. "You are perfect, just as you are." Kachi hoped that one day the village would see Tina's light too. But the shadows seemed to grow longer. Mazi's sadness turned into anger, and the distance between him and Kachi grew. The house that once rang with laughter now echoed with silence, except for the click-clack of Kachi's loom and Tina's soft giggles. In the heart of Kachi, there was a light that refused to go out. She believed in better days ahead. "We will find our way through these shadows," Kachi whispered into the night. Her eyes filled with tears, but her spirit unbroken. "For my Tina, for all of us." As the sun rose and set over the village of Uro, Tina, the little girl with skin as pale as the moon, grew taller. She was no longer the tiny baby that had caused so much stir. Now, she was a beautiful girl with eyes that sparkled like stars and a smile that could light up the darkest room. But even as Tina grew, the whispers didn't stop. "There goes the girl," people would say, pointing and not bothering to whisper anymore. Tina heard them, but she tried to keep her smile, just like her mother, Kachi, taught her. Kachi watched her daughter grow, feeling both proud and sad. Proud because Tina was kind and smart, and sad because she knew how lonely Tina felt. Tina's sisters, now older, still kept their distance, listening more to the village's fears than to their mother's pleas of love and acceptance. Mazi, Tina's father, spoke less and less. He worked on his farm from sunrise to sunset, trying to escape the home that reminded him of what he thought was his misfortune. At night, he would look at Tina and then quickly look away, as if afraid of what he might feel. Tina tried to make friends, but it was hard. When she went to fetch water, the other children would leave, their mothers calling them away. "Come here, don't go near her," they'd say, their voices filled with unnecessary fear. They whispered and pointed fingers, saying she was bad luck. Tina's heart would ache, but she'd just pick up her water and head home with tears rolling down her eyes. Even at home, things were not easy. Her siblings, who should have been her friends, stayed away, afraid of being called unlucky too. They wouldn't share games or secrets with Tina. She often felt very alone, like a moon in a dark sky, shining by itself. At home, Tina learned to weave from Kachi. Her fingers were quick and sure, and soon she was making cloth as beautiful as her mother's. "You have a gift, Tina," Kachi would say, her voice filled with pride. "Your hands weave magic." But outside the home, no one wanted to see the beauty Tina created. They only saw her pale skin. Tina often sat by the window, watching the world go by, wondering why she was so different. Why did her presence bring whispers and stares? She had so much love to give, so many smiles that never got returned. Her heart was big, but it felt heavy with unshared love. One day, as Tina sat weaving with her mother, she asked, "Mama, why don't they like me?" Kachi looked at her daughter, her own heart breaking. "My child," she said, "sometimes people fear what they don't understand. But know this, you are loved deeply and truly by those who matter." As Tina grew into her beauty, both inside and out, she also grew into her solitude. The village's rejection became a familiar pain, one she learned to live with but never understood. Her world was small, limited to her home, her family, and her weaving. The village of Uro, with all its colors and life, felt like a distant dream, one where Tina longed to belong, but knew she never would. Despite everything, Tina's spirit remained unbroken. She was kind, even to those who weren't kind to her. She shared her smile, even when no one smiled back. And she loved, even when she wasn't loved in return. In a world that didn't understand her, Tina remained a light, dimmed by the shadows, but never extinguished it. Then, one day, after many years of feeling this way, Tina made a big decision. She decided she could no longer live in a place that only saw her as different, a place where being herself was seen as wrong. "Mama," she said one quiet evening, her voice steady but her eyes sad, "I need to find a place where I belong." Kachi felt a storm of emotions. She knew the pain of her daughter's rejection, felt it as her own. Yet, the thought of Tina leaving, stepping into a world so big and uncertain, filled her with fear. "Tina, my moonbeam," Kachi whispered, her eyes glistening with tears. "Are you sure?" Tina nodded, her decision firm. "I need to find a place where my light can shine, Mama, where people see me, not just my skin." Kachi saw the resolve in Tina's eyes, the same resolve that had helped her face each day in a village that turned its back on her. The night before Tina's departure was long. Kachi held her daughter, sharing stories of the ancestors, of bravery, and of love. "Wherever you go," Kachi said, "carry our love with you. It's your shield, your strength." As dawn broke, casting a soft light over Uro, Tina packed a small bag. She didn't have much, some clothes, a bit of food, and her weaving tools. "With these hands," she told herself, "I'll weave a new life." Mazi, silent these past years, found no words now. His heart was heavy, a mix of regret and a father's worry. Tina's sisters watched from a distance, their emotions a tangled web they couldn't yet understand. Kachi walked Tina to the edge of the village, the morning quiet around them. There, Kachi gave Tina her blessing, a mother's love sending her child into the world. Go with the strength of our ancestors, Kachi said, her voice strong despite her tears. Find your place, my child, and know that here you always have a home. Tina turned to leave, his steps determined. She looked back once, memorizing the sight of her mother, the woman who had taught her about love and strength. Then she walked on, into a future unknown. Behind her, Kachi stood watching, her heart both proud and broken. She whispered a prayer to the winds, asking them to carry her love to Tina, to protect her on her journey. Tina walked for days, her heart heavy, but her spirit unbroken. She crossed rivers and hills, each step taking her further from Uro, further from the pain. And then, one sunny morning, she saw a new village, nestled between green hills and sparkling streams. It was different, peaceful, and welcoming. With hesitant steps, Tina entered the village. She expected whispers, stares, the all too familiar signs of rejection, but what she found was smiles. Warm, genuine smiles from strangers who didn't know her story but were willing to welcome her all the same. In this new village, no one whispered about her pale skin or looked at her with fear. Instead, they saw her for who she was, a young woman with a talent for weaving and a heart full of kindness. Tina, carrying the weaving skills her mother, Kachi, had taught her, began to weave. Her fingers danced like they were part of the loom, creating fabrics that told stories, fabrics that shimmered with colors of the sunrise and the calm of the sunset. The villagers saw her work and were amazed. Look at this beauty, they would say, touching the soft clothes that Tina made. And just like that, Tina found her place among them. She was no longer the girl to whisper about, but the weaver whose hands spun magic. Word of Tina's weaving spread quickly. People came from all around, not just to buy her cloth, but to meet the remarkable young woman who made it. Her hands weave magic, they said, and Tina, who had once been shunned for being different, found herself embraced by her new community. For the first time in her life, Tina felt a sense of belonging. She was invited to dinners, to celebrations, and with each passing day, her circle of friends grew. They didn't see Tina the albino. They saw Tina, the weaver, the friend, the cherished member of their village. With her success came happiness, a deep, fulfilling joy that Tina had never known. She woke up each day to a life she had dreamed of, but never dared to hope for. Her past, filled with rejection and loneliness, seemed like a distant memory. Here, in this new village, Tina was loved for exactly who she was. As her reputation grew, so did her business. Tina's clothes were sought after far and wide, and her little home became a place of laughter and light. She used her success to help others, remembering her mother's lessons of kindness and generosity. Tina became known not just for her weaving, but for her big heart. One day, as Tina sat weaving under the shade of a large tree, she realized something important. She had found her place in the world, not by changing who she was, but by living her truth. In this village, among these people, Tina wasn't just accepted, she was celebrated. And so, Tina's new beginning was marked not by the end of her journey, but by the start of a new chapter. A chapter filled with success, yes, but more importantly, with happiness. In this village, Tina discovered that the greatest success of all was finding a place where she could be herself, unapologetically and freely. As seasons changed and Tina's life blossomed in her new village, something magical happened. Among the many who admired her work and spirit was Prince Kali, the son of the village chief. Prince Kali was kind and wise, beloved by all. He had heard tales of Tina's beautiful weavings and her even more beautiful heart. Curious, he visited her stall under the guise of buying cloth, but as soon as he saw her, he knew there was something special about Tina. They talked first about weavings, then about life, dreams, and hopes. Tina found in Prince Kali a kindred spirit, someone who saw the world not as it was, but as it could be. And Prince Kali saw in Tina a strength and grace he had never encountered before. Their friendship blossomed into love, a love that was deep and true, built on respect and shared dreams. One day, under the shade of the same tree where Tina realized she had found her place, Prince Kali asked her to be his wife. He didn't see a weaver, nor did he see an albino. He saw Tina, the woman who had captured his heart. With you, I see a future bright and beautiful, he said. Tina, with tears of joy in her eyes, accepted. Her heart, once heavy with sorrow, now soared with love. Before they married, Prince Kali asked Tina if there was anything she wished to do. Tina knew the time had come to face her past. She needed to return to Uro, not for validation, but to close the chapter that had once defined her. Then she said, "Before our wedding ceremony, my lovely mother must be aware. She must validate and bless our marriage." Prince Kali, understanding her need, stood by her decision with unwavering support. Then one bright morning, Tina, now with Prince Kali by her side, decided it was time to visit Uro. As they arrived in Uro, the village looked the same, but Tina felt so different. She held Prince Kali's hand tightly as they walked through the village. People stopped and stared, their mouths open wide. "Is that Tina?" they whispered, amazed at how she shone, like a star that had found its place in the sky. Then came the moment Tina had dreamed of, but also feared a little. She saw her mother, Kachi. Tears filled their eyes as they hugged. It was a hug that said everything. "I missed you. I'm proud of you. I love you." Kachi looked at her daughter, not believing how the once rejected girl was now a princess, loved and happy. But happiness was not the only story in Uro. Tina's siblings, who had turned their backs on her, faced tough times. They had not found happiness or success. Seeing Tina, they felt a mix of shame and surprise. They couldn't face the village or Tina, knowing how wrong they had been. So they decided to leave Uro, to find a new beginning, just like Tina once did. With her siblings gone, Tina felt sad, but knew some stories had to find their own paths. She turned her heart to those who loved her. Tina asked her mother to come and live with her in the new village, a place where love and kindness ruled. Kachi, with tears of joy, said yes. She was ready to start a new chapter in a place where her daughter had found her fairy tale. Tina's return changed many things in Uro. The villagers saw her not just as the girl they once whispered about, but as a princess, strong and kind. They remembered how they had treated her and felt a deep wish to be better, to be kind like Tina. Before leaving Uro, Tina addressed her family and the villagers. She spoke of love, acceptance, and the beauty of diversity. "Never look down on anyone because of how they look," she said. "Everyone is special, no matter their color." Her words left a deep impact, sowing the seeds of change in the hearts of those who heard her. And so, Tina left Uro again, but this time with her mother and her head held high. She had come back as a princess, but more importantly, she had shown everyone that kindness wins, that love heals, and that everyone deserves a chance to shine, no matter where they come from or what they look like. Tina's story was not just a fairy tale. It was a lesson in love, acceptance, and the magic of second chances. As Tina and Kachi traveled back to their new home, they looked forward to the future. Tina, now a princess, continued to weave not just cloth, but a life filled with love, acceptance, and the joy of being truly seen. Her story, a testament to the power of forgiveness and the beauty of diversity, remained a guiding light for both her old village and her new one. The moral of Tina's tale resonated far and wide. Never look down on anyone because of how they look. Everyone is special, no matter their color. It was a lesson that transformed not just a family or a village, but all who heard her story, reminding everyone of the value of acceptance, love, and the strength to forgive. I hope you enjoyed the story. If so, please like the video, comment what you learned from the tale, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more enchanting tales just like this one. Thank you.